Yeah, primal innocence.
How do we bring innocence back to our bodies, to our sexuality, to our emotions? And and actually, it's the suppression of them that causes all the problems. Feeling into any desires, any boundaries. Where is the place that the love for yourself can meet the love for the other? And again, you can share what are your desires and your boundaries.
Everyone had their clothes off and we were dancing. There was a real sort of playful, joyful, innocent atmosphere in the room, and I was taken very strongly back to being age 5 or 6 and dancing on the grass in the summer under the sprinklers. Before we knew that being naked was a thing, it was just obvious what you did when the sun was out and it's water. And I can remember the primal joy of that. Specifically, remember turning around and seeing rainbows dancing in the sprinkler, and suddenly having my first realization that everything was magic. I was like, oh, there's magic everywhere. It feels very quickly like we're in a family. It's just family. It's just us, and we're playing, and it's safe to do that. It's sort of the framework that we use, I think, establishes that very quickly. Hopefully, that's kind of what we're doing, is really learning through the retreat, really practical, slowed right down tools on how we how do you approach Eros as medicine, and how do you then be receptive to the lessons that you get? How can you listen to it? How do you outlet what barriers are there within us, or what is there, what areas of resistance or unintegrated parts of ourselves are standing in the way of being in that state of innocence, but with the full power of of our erotic energy.
All the things that are covered are completely life transformational and so good, and they're so relevant for every part of life, in all of its spheres, from relationships to sexuality to work to relationships to friendships to family, and these tools can literally be applied to everything. And I feel so grateful. I have this secret knowledge that feels so potent and so powerful and so transformational that I can work with.
I feel like sexuality is the perfect tool for like shadow work or shamanic work, because that's this, a lot comes up when working with Eros, like all of like lots of things you're ashamed of, lots of things that you would rather avoid, and we really are encouraging and celebrating any expression that wants to come, and picking up a stone and actually looking at the creepy crawly things there and being fascinated by them, and then understanding how the whole like ecosystem, like the composting and it's really just looking at the reality of our own existence. Shadow, but so much of our shadow is in our sexuality that as soon as you put a spotlight on it, you get all sorts of creepy crawly things going everywhere. And it's like coming layer by layer and step by step, and you start to realize that there's such an infinite universe here to be explored.
This retreat has been fantastic. It ripped open my heart. It raised a lot of shit inside me, which was difficult to deal with at the time, but I felt held and safe with the facilitators and assistants in what they were doing and the tools that I've been given to take away for when this shit arises again.
We're working with sexual energy. Like boundaries are, of course, the first thing we teach, and the most important thing. It's like one of the most important points that I believe in doing this work. There should never be any pressure at all, because nobody knows what journey you're meant to be on right now.
I felt so safe during this retreat, and I am someone who doesn't feel safe generally, and whenever I go into new spaces I actually retract myself until I get to a point where I feel safe. And I'm so grateful for Joy and Shiva and the way they hold such a sacred, safe, well-boundaried space. And I'm so glad I came to this work, because I think it requires such a high level of facilitation, and that's really honoured. So I'm really grateful. It's one of the best, most safe spaces I've ever worked in. And
We work a lot with emotions on the course, and it's never about getting rid of it. It's about how to be with it. Go through the different tools, very practical breath, sound and movement tools that you can use when you're feeling grief, when you're feeling anger, even when you're feeling joy, because we suppress joy. It's not only negative emotions we suppress. And so in all of our workshops, we really welcome all emotions. An invitation to physically reveal your body. So there is an invitation to get as naked as you feel comfortable and be really honest about it. What do you love about your body? What do you really struggle to love about your body? And that's okay, and not make it wrong, but to make it vulnerable.
For a lot of us, it's not such a great relationship.
We end up in this place where we feel so alone with what we see as our problems. And as soon as we're in a safe space where people can start touching on it, and then we realize we're really not alone and everybody is going through the same thing.
Yeah, we come up very quickly against our conditioning of this tiny little cage that we placed Eros into, this thing that happens with our genitals, and it's way, way more. It's like everything else, it's everything. And yeah, we're all about releasing Eros from its little prison that somehow it got placed in.
I just shed a lot of layers. I go to many retreats for self-development, and this was honestly one of the best ones. Difficult to say what's so good about it without you being here.